Shalom, all praises to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. I'm a brother Makulat. Yeah, with a little lesson to feed the elect with the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So it's prophecies, man. It's like you don't know where to start. So much things are happening. Yeah, so much things are happening that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai words is truly to be magnified, yeah. And through the Spirit of the Lord, I'm doing something, okay? Alright. And through the Spirit of the Lord, man, we worship Yahweh Shem Yahushai and bring out these information as we see these things taking place. As a matter of fact, I should have downloaded this app right there. But anyway, now let me get Second Ezra. Second Ezra. This is I was just listening to some videos and it's just flowing off the top of my head. See, because we're in that time where the spirit is gonna jump on you and you're just gonna have to run with it. We're in that time. Alright, Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure though the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shall thou understood that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right? Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And it continues, then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right? That's the reason why we know that Enoch was a prophet. Definitely. It says, for like as all that is made in the world at a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, and we're in the manifestation of the end times right now. So it continues to say, even so, the times of the highest of plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works and endings in effects and signs, and everyone that shall be saved, right? And shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So now we are coming down to the final laps of the end stages, because yeah, we are living in that time right now. Dialogue Works highlights Richard Wolf, Michael Hudson, and his name Naima R. Hal Korshid, and this is fair use. I'm not making any money. My channel is not monetized. I'm just bringing out the news. That's it. I'm not making any profit off of it. I'm just bringing out the news. That's it. So, let me just see. I was so caught up in this video that so many points came out, and I'm just there painting and I'm just listening. It's like I'm so caught up I forgot to like make the pointers where certain information came out that's very crucial to what's taking place now. However, though, through the Spirit, let's just flow, man,
Notes his world reserves. He said, well, it's our dollar, it's your problem. Well, Trump saying it's our war, it's your problem, what to solve it. Do you want to provide the minesweepers to clear out the Strait of Hormuz? Do you want to supply the war to fight the troops to fight against Iran? We're not going to. All we can do is bomb. That's the only thing that we have left. We're not going to supply any troops. Trump said that again today. No troops. All we can do is bomb. And we're going to target Iran's oil field again. if Iran continues to fight for its survival. Well, obviously Iran's going to fight for its survival, and obviously the
Definitely.
United States intends to keep escalating until the entire Near East's, Middle East's oil export capacity is ended. So all that world of relying on the U.S. as a source of stability instead of instability is now over. And the U.S. Iran war looks like it's, as I said, it's going to go into next year. And I want to, I know that I've gone a few minutes already, but I want to discuss just one. The first point that I mentioned about the sanctions, America's long-term aim, predating Trump's presidency, has been to monopolize the world's oil trade by imposing sanctions against oil producers whose policies are against those of the United States, Russia, Iran, Venezuela, and anyone else who wants to
Go around the dollar.
export oil in competition with the U.S. military and economic bloc. So, by imposing trade sanctions against Iran in 1979, when it grabbed
Me I make a video there.
Iran's oil, when it overthrew
Me I
the
make a video, so me I beg some silence.
military police state of the Shah, and again, when it sanctioned Russian oil in 2022 and then Venezuelan oil last year, the United States had dollarized the world's oil production, and that meant this went far beyond simply pricing oil in dollars. Eve Smith always reminds me that oil trade represents only 5 to 7% of the demand for dollars. It's financial capital movements that really determine the world. And the role of petrodollars wasn't simply in pricing oil in dollars and raising the price. The whole idea of petrodollars was that the OPEC countries were going to keep all of the earnings from their oil trade and send them to the United States. And Kissinger said, "We told OPEC."
And basically they're losing that now because the BRICS nations, basically they would come like I don't think I should use that terminology, but anyway, basically they have become a force against Babylon the Great. And remember, even Biden administration, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, I forgot his name, basically said that he's not just interested in selling the oil in the dollar anymore. He also will accept the yuan. See, and this that's taking place is a major hit because the Chinese ships can go through the straits, which will, what should I say, cause the Chinese yuan to basically go up in value and the dollar to go down. See, so they've been saying that the Chinese economy been, competing with the American economy. See, that's the reason why Trump, have to free up sanctions of Russia. And it's a whole lot of madness because all of this that's taking place is against America, is against Babylon the Great. That's Isaiah the 19th chapter. And all this work that Nero 47, aka Captain Jack Sparrow, is doing, it's backfiring against him. You know, it's crazy. When we no, hold on. See, in the article and AP News, Iran threatens to completely close Straits of Hormuz and hit power plants after Trump ultimatum. Right? ARAD. United States and Iran threatens to target critical infrastructure Sunday as the war in the Middle East, Western Asia, now in its fourth week put life and livelihoods at risk throughout the region. And they were just saying that this will continue to the end of the year. And that video. See, who for lives you think? Whose lives? Our lives would be at risk. The regular people. you know? Even though even though some diplomats have been targeted, you know, and been taken from the physical world to the spiritual world. You know, it's hell. You're about to witness hell on earth, man. You know, it says, uh, where was it? Iran said the Strait of Hormuz, crucial to oil and other exports, would be completely closed immediately if the US follows up on President Donald Trump's threat to attack its power plants. Trump late Saturday set a 48-hour deadline to open the strait, which basically, if he doesn't do it, is problem because he's gonna show himself weak, and if he do it, it's more problem. So Iran has to make response, and Babylon has to make response. So this ego and pride, which the scriptures teach against that. Ego and pride, which Iran is really fighting for a cause, for to be a sovereign state, but it's mostly for Babylon the Great. The leader of that country, basically, the ego and the pride is off the chain. Which basically, if he doesn't do it, as I said, he's gonna show him to be weak, and if he do it, he's gonna show himself to be stupid. So he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Right? Israeli leaders visited one of two southern communities near a secretive nuclear research site struck by Iranian missile late Saturday, with scores of people wounded. Prime Minister, that man, quote unquote, if he which supposed to be alive, yeah, said it was a miracle. No one was unalive, which is bullshit, man. Which is bullshit. All them lies, the lies that are being taught to the people, is you can see right through them. You don't have to put on a thinking cap if you have read the manual how to use your brain. It's easy. It's easy. See, what you have to understand that this is a time where the Lord is visiting the world which He had made. You know, it says, Netanyahu claimed that and the US were well on their way to achieve their war goals. The aims have ranged from weakening Iran's nuclear program, missile program, and support for armed proxies to enable the Iranian people to overthrow theocracy. The world's busiest air corridors, the war with the US and Israel launched February 28th has killed over 2,000 people, and more people gonna die, man. You know? 2,000 people died on a weekend in Ukraine. It's crazy. We're living in a time of serious business. Serious prophecies. These prophecies are popping off left, right, and center. See, so it's going down, and it's not gonna turn back, none at all. Seeing prices for goods gonna go up, people gonna lose it, more kitty cat will be selling, more robberies, more thefts. You know, more people's gonna start to get locked up for treason because they're cheering on for the enemy. You name it, you name it. It's getting crazy and crazier and crazier and crazier by the days, man. And I think I should get second is just the 15th chapter. I think think you should just get that chapter and close off. You know, Second Ezra 15 chapter. Alright. And it reads, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. See, some of you are going to wake up to everlasting life, some of you are going to stay shame of everlasting contempt. Because we've been out there for many years, man, speaking that these things was going to happen. And now, it's taking place right before your eyes. A lot of you don't even care, to the point that you don't even witness or realize what's taking place. So you're going to be caught off guard, you know. Verse 4 says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. We are looking in the face of that right now in a mass yeah. I will hold my tongue no more as touching your wickedness which they have profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Yeah? Continually. We've been out there asking the Lord how long, you know, before you judge the whore. Babylon the Great. How long? And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. And all the truth against these men, the Jewish people, has been coming out. Or that they eat babies. There's some of them even speak it out of their own mouths by me. Saying she didn't realize what she was saying. But the Yahushua said, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh, right? So yeah, they do that. They all the pedo rings and you name it. Remember, it was about early last year when they had that underground place where they find blankets with blood and stuff like that. We remember that. We remember that like it was yesterday. You know? All the truth about these people is coming out. You know? This is behold. Oh, sorry, verse 9. And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, and I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, which is America. And I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And let me say this, one of the major plague that we are seeing taking place right now is DJ Trump. That fool is a plague, and he's a plague to the establishment of that corporation that is called America. Because all the decision making is just sending America spiraling down into a deeper hole, you know. So like, yeah. Stretch out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. You know, missiles, man, missiles. But right now we are seeing this man as a plague, as I've said. He's plaguing the American people with his madness. But you believe that the people collectively would be against him, but a lot of people are for him because they are pro-Edomite, you know. It doesn't matter what he's doing. And plus, the narrative that has been sold to them over the years that no one can come up against Babylon the Great and will be successful. Well, let's see what this time will bring. Right? Verse 12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that the Most High shall bring. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through blasting and hail, and with fearful cancellation. Farming is on the low right now. See, all the millions and billions of dollars is being spent in what's taking place over there in Western Asia that they call the Middle East. Right? It says, woe unto the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand, race war, class war, civil war, you name it, military against military. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. We are going into these times. Time of trouble. Verse 20, behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun and from Lebanon, from the sun, from the south, from the east, and from Lebanon, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, which are the Israelites, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, thus saith the Lord. Power. Right? My right hand shall not spare sinners, which is Yahushai, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and hath consumed the foundation of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. So when all is said and done, America will be burnt up. That's the only place that will be totally burned right up. Totally burned right up. And these men, see all these men that you see come up and talking about what's taking place and telling you, Babylon the Great leader is committing treason and stuff like that. All of that is taking place, you're witnessing the downfall of this place. And it's going to be crazy. This will be crazy. Let me see if we can continue a bit.
Pricing oil in dollars and raising the price. The whole idea of petrodollars was that the OPEC countries were going to keep all of the earnings from their oil trade and send them to the United States. And Kissinger said, we told OPEC, you can charge whatever you want. We're not going to let you buy control of any American corporation, not even real estate or farms. You can buy bonds, or you can buy stocks. You can finance American industry, but you won't have any control to use your ownership for any of your own purposes, unlike the whole purpose of the United States when it invests. So OPEC countries account for 40% of the world's oil trade, 20% of the total oil production, but 40% of the trade. So if the Strait of Hormuz lasts more than a few months, this is going to plunge all these oil-dependent countries into a depression, and they've already announced we're having to sell off our national funds. We've had to sell off securities.
Oh. As a matter of fact, let me just... News. Let me just... As he said that, let me just see if I can find something on this article. Hear me out. As I said, my allergies. Missing. Type again. This is grappling with severe energy crisis in early 2026, largely driven by escalating conflict in the Middle East and the persistent fallout from earlier geopolitical tensions. The International Energy Agency (IEA) has warned that the current situation, marked by major supply disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, could be the worst energy crisis in decades. Countries are making drastic and in some cases unprecedented changes to secure supply and manage skyrocketing costs and transition to cleaner energy. Right? Right. Countries suffering and responding. Asia Pacific, the region is hardest hit due to its heavy reliance on imported oil and gas. Myanmar, Bangladesh, Thailand, India, Sri Lanka, South Korea, Europe, Cuba. Right? Drastic changes and emergency oil release. Member countries agreed to release $400 million of oil from energy reserves, the largest such action in history. Rationing and consumption cuts. Several countries have introduced or are considering rationing fuel and power. This includes 4-day work weeks in countries like the Philippines and Pakistan. Shift to coal and nuclear. Despite long-term green pledges, nations are reverting to coal firepower generation to fill immediate supply gaps in 2026. You know? Acceleration of clean energy crisis is ironically accelerating renewable transition as countries look to break dependencies on volatile fossil fuel markets. China is investing heavily in solar manufacturing, and Europe is expanding heat pump deployment. Diplomatic and security action. High tensions in the Middle East have led to increased military surveillance of key oil shipping routes, with the Strait of Hormuz. The current situation is forcing a profound, rapid reorientation of global energy trade, with countries prioritizing energy resilience, economic stability, and as a matter of fact, should I ask a question? I wanted to ask a question. What was the question again? You know? Oh, could there be a next lockdown on the world due to let's see what the chat has to say. Yeah. While there is no official global lockdown mandate in place of 2026, several countries have been already implemented lockdown type restrictions, such as mandatory work from home, school closure, and reduced work weeks to manage severe fuel and electricity shortages. Economists and international energy bodies warn that these localized measures could become more common if global energy supply chains face further disruption. Right? Current energy lockdown measures in response to the 2026 energy crisis. Several nations have adopted drastic measures that mirror pandemic era lockdowns. Mandatory remote work. Countries like Pakistan and Thailand have mandated work from home for government and public sector employees to reduce commuting fuel consumption, reduce work, school weeks. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Alternative day driving. In Myanmar, authorities have revived 1970s style restrictions where people can only drive on certain days based on their license plate numbers. You know, risk factors for broader restrictions. According to the reports from the International Energy Agency and Reuters, several factors could trigger similar lockdown type scenarios in other regions. So we're getting there. We are getting there. See, we are getting there. We are getting there. Let me get for the yes, these 12 verse 1. Remember now that I created in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, we are witnessing that firsthand. You know, the state of the economy. On the grid right now, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. You see, 4 days, 4 days to work week. To spirit to be playing music like that, everything will be rationing. If you're not locked into the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, anything possible will happen, man. Seeing, it's just, as I said, I'm just flowing with the spirit. I hope that what I'm saying makes sense, you know, to whosoever is just coming in and you may be edified or prompted to go and do some research on your own or something like that. Shalom.